Hey guys, we are back here in our homestead kitchen, the OG one in California, and we're going to try something interesting today.
Yeah, we're going to try freeze drying coffee. We are getting ready to hike or climb Mount Whitney, and there's a few things that we've been trying to figure out how to take in lightweight form, and one of them is coffee.
Yeah, and Lisa and I both have two different styles of coffee. She needs a little bit of caffeine, and I can't have any caffeine. So one of the things we came up with is that we use here in the house, we use a pour over system. Yeah. And so we can make coffee pretty quickly and good coffee. But we have two separate grinders. So one's filled always with decaffeinated beans and the other one's filled with regular coffee or go juice that everybody else likes to have. So we were wondering how we could get the best of both worlds, and we ran across some videos on YouTube that showed people making pumpkin spice lattes year round, and we thought, man, why can't we try that with our own coffee? So we're going to go ahead and take you guys along as we do our first experiment and show you guys how we make coffee for the road.
Yep, let's get it going.
So normally when we make coffee, obviously we make one carafe with decaf and one with regular. What I've done here is I'm gonna just make a double batch in each one of these. Then we're gonna throw them in a quart-sized mason jar, put them in the refrigerator and try to cool them off before we throw them into the freeze dryer. One of our secrets to making coffee so quickly in the morning is we have the instant hot water. So we throw it on the stove and it only takes about a minute and a half to come up to temperature. So we're just trying to get the coffee grounds to bloom. So the plan here was to make 3 double batches for myself and then to make 2 double batches for Lisa. You know, we were hoping and figured that if we're gonna freeze dry it, why not put creamer in it? Then that way we can have coffee and creamer. We're not really sure how it's going to turn out, but with some of the videos we've seen, we don't think it'll be that big a deal. So, cross your fingers. So now that our coffee's brewed, the next thing I want to do is, since we made a double batch, I know that in each one of mine I put approximately 3 ounces, 2.5 to 3 ounces. And because I'm going to drink it on the weekend, I'll probably go to 3 for each batch. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them into these mason jars. Now, I've already preheated this a little bit because I don't want it to get that shock when you start pouring the hot liquids in. So I'm going to go ahead and dump the hot water out. I'm going to throw it on my scale, zero it out. Then I'm going to add my cream. Then we'll add the coffee. And each one of these half-gallon mason jars represents one of the trays of our freeze dryer. So now that I've got this one all done, I'm going to throw it in the refrigerator, get it to get cold before I put it into the freeze dryer, and I'm going to do this 4 more times. So now that we have all the coffee chilling out in the refrigerator, trying to get it down to temperature before we put it in the freeze dryer, we're gonna go ahead and fire up the freeze dryer and get it down to temperature so this process will go faster. Here's the cooling down process. Tells you the temperature, it's 74 degrees. We'll check back in a little bit. All right, so it's been about an hour since we put the coffee in the fridge. The coffee's probably 70 degrees, but the freeze dryer is down to 30, and the trays are in there and the trays are cool. So I think at this point in time, it's probably better to put the coffee inside here because it will get to the end time faster, because I think the surface area with all the cooling will cool that coffee now even faster. So let's go ahead and start pouring it in. Now, Lisa is lighter than me, so we're gonna put the 2 caffeinated ones on top, and then we're gonna put the decaf all on the bottom. I think it's gonna be perfect. I was worried. One of the tips here is to pour the liquid in the tray while the tray's in it, because there's no way to get this tray full of liquid from the counter to the freeze dryer. So that's it. We got, this is 10 cups of coffee. Now this is 10 Yetis full of coffee. So big 20, 22 ounce cups. But basically there's 220 ounces worth of coffee in here. My guess is it'll take about a day and a half. We won't really know. We'll come and check on it a little later this evening, and we'll check on it tomorrow and kind of give you an update of where we're at on temperature and everything. It was ready to cool, and so I restarted the cycle because I wanted to make sure it wasn't in candy mode. We had freeze dried some Skittles for somebody, but it's not. So I just made a couple of tweaks to the setting and we turned it back on, and we'll check in with you in a little bit.
The next day.
So here we are the following morning, and it's been going almost 11 hours. And I know the job of the freeze dryer is to pull the moisture out of the stuff, but it's taken a lot longer than I thought it would. It's sitting at about 5 degrees and it's got to go all the way down to minus 20. And here's the first go. Ooh, it's powdery. Guess we're gonna find out. All right, so here's the plan. This is done. This is caffeinated coffee. This is Lisa's with the Go Juice in it. And we took an empty mason jar. We measured it, and it was 10 ounces. Now we're gonna scoop this whole tray in here, put it in the blender, pulverize it, turn it into powder, although it's pretty dry and flaky already. And then we'll weigh it again, and then we'll know that 2 cups of coffee, how much we have to dose out, or what each of the servings is in order to get a cup of coffee. Ooh, so it's 11.6 ounces. So there's only 1.6 ounces needed to make a cup of coffee. So it's not a lot.
Lightweight.
Lightweight, good point. Because this is 2 days worth of coffee right here. And we've stuck our finger in it and tasted it, and it's strong. It's like coffee, nothing off-putting. It's straight up like coffee. But we'll try it when we're all done. Okay, so if the first batch was 1.6, then the second batch should make it 13.2. Not bad. So all processed, 10 tumblers worth of coffee. We've got 4 tumblers worth of regular and 6 tumblers worth of decaf coffee. So that's all the time we have for tonight. So tomorrow we're gonna do a taste test and see what's the difference between a fresh cup and a processed cup.
The next day.
Good morning. It's Saturday, and we're just finishing up a long week.
letting Lisa sleep in, and I thought this morning would be a good time to try out the new instant coffee. So let me show you. Okay, so first impressions is it doesn't look exactly the same as my normal cup of coffee, but it's close. There's a little bit of oil and water separation on the top. I'm just gonna let it cool for a minute and I'll give it a taste. All right, here we go. Smells like coffee. It's hot though. Well, my first impressions are it tastes like a cup of coffee with cream in it. The tones or the taste is a little muted, both with the coffee and the creamer, but it's not bad. There's no bitter aftertaste. Keep in mind that I'm drinking decaf, so there's no bitter aftertaste. I mean, all in all, it's a good cup of coffee. I do prefer it straight out of the carafe in the morning. But yeah, this is good coffee to take with you on the trail. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoy our content, please click the subscribe button and push that thumbs up. And if you have any comments or questions, and would you take this coffee and go through all this work to take it with you in the outdoors, let us know. Thanks a lot.